Hi guys, welcome to this new series called Mindex. I wanted to do a quick disclaimer before starting the video. I wanted to talk about the whole series in general. So the idea behind it is that I find some mineral to talk about and I show it to you guys. Here it's not a question of if there will be mistakes, but when. If you can spot a mistake, be aware that I chose this mineral because of the fact that it has some of the properties that I'm talking about in the video. But I will do everything in my power so that those mistakes don't happen. So today's video is about pyrite. Pyrite is a word that comes from the Greek pyros or pure, which means fire. This word is an allusion to the sparks that the pyrite will make when it is hit. Sometimes also pyrite can be called fool's gold. That is an allusion to the fools that always thought that they found gold. If you ever come in contact with pyrite and you think it is gold, the best way to identify pyrite is to look at its property. Pyrite is of a brass, gold, yellowish, but very dark color. Its crystal system is cubic. Its streak is black, and there is a slight dark green tint to it. Gold, in fact, has a yellow streak. Its Mohs hardness is about 6 to 6.5, and its chemical composition is iron sulfide. Pyrite can be confused with marcasite, which is its polymorph. A polymorph is it's basically the same mineral, but with a different structure, so it's a different crystal system. Marcasite will crystallize in the orthorhombic system, and that means that its shape will be mostly that of a shoebox or like a fridge. Marcasite is in general grayer, and it leaves like a chalky white powder. It's more unstable, and it's found mostly in sedimentary deposits, where it will replace the organic matter. So the two specimens that you will see next, I believe, are marcasite, and that is because you can see that the first one has a tabular shape, mostly to one of its sides, and the next one has a stalagmite-like crystal shape. So those are quite typical of marcasite. But again, what can really mess you up sometimes is the fact that sometimes even both of those minerals can be found on the same rock together. Pyrite and marcasite are also very known to oxidize to the air and to the moisture in the air, and it will create some sulfuric acid. So if you go 3 reactions down the line, pyrite will react with ferric iron and with water. Here it's the iron that will be the oxidizer, not the water, but it will create some ferrous iron plus some sulfates plus some acidity. So the hell does it mean in real life? It means that once the pyrite oxidizes with the air and the humidity or the water that it's in, the reaction will be accelerated and it will stop when there's no pyrite left. So where there is pyrite and some water on the ground or a lot of rain, it will leave holes in the ground and it will create some unstable regions. And people from the south shore of Montreal learned the hard way. Back in 2000, it was shown in the news that some houses that were built about like 20 years ago, they were built with some pyrite either in their foundation or the structure itself had pyrite in them. So that meant that over time, holes began to appear and it left some cracks in the foundations, and that meant that those houses were unstable. So it could have crumbled underneath their own weight. So that means that if you ever have to build a house, make those tests and check if there is some pyrite underground or if there is some pyrite in the cement that they're using to build their house. Now, my first experience with pyrite was that I was always searching for rocks when I was a kid, and there was this class where we had to find some minerals in the city, and we had to describe it and identify it. So I went near the school and I found some pyrite on the terrain, and I was super excited. I knew that it was pyrite and that there was no value to it whatsoever, but it was the first real mineral that I had ever found, other than, like, you know, the usual rocks that you find. But now, in hindsight, I'm now realizing that the pyrite was probably not even from that place. Because if they would have found pyrite near the school, they probably wouldn't have built the school there. So I feel that the pyrite must have been moved there afterwards. So yeah, this video is also like a time capsule, if you want. Because the pyrite that you're seeing right now, it won't look the same in 20 years. Because it will have oxidized some of it with the air and the humidity. So it will have decomposed a little bit. So if you ever have a mineral collection, I recommend to leave the pyrite on its own and not with other minerals, because the acid might damage your other minerals. So it's quite important to keep in mind. So this is the money shot, if you will. This pyrite is the biggest pyrite that I've seen, but I know that you can find quite bigger than that, like a lot. So that's about it for this video here. Thank you guys for watching and for letting me experiment with this series. So leave a comment down below about how much you like that video and if you would like to see more. I have definitely other minerals in mind that I will be using in the future. So thanks guys, and see you next week.